crashing down. All around this empty town, I'm searching for the lost and found. But you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Don't stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Said that you moved on. Where did I go wrong? I tried to make you stay, but I guess my love wasn't enough. Was it me or was it you, love? 'Cause I'm dying to know. Why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Tell me, why do you wanna end? Was he really just a friend? No sign end? Tell me why do you wanna end? Was he really just a friend? Cause it's plain in my head every word that you said. I ain't worked it out yet. So why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? If there was any sign that our love was in decline, I would have begged you not to go. I would have given even more. My heart is breaking up inside. Can't believe our love has died. Guess it's out of my control. Why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Tell me why do you wanna end? Is he really just your friend? Cause it's plain in my head every word that you said. I ain't worked it out yet. So why do you wanna end? Was it real or just pretend? Why do you wanna?
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, cause in my heart it's not worthwhile.
Hello everyone and welcome to our stream. I'm still setting up the microphone, sorry. Alright, so we got well into the season and we are now at week 4 of 13 if I'm correct. So we're gonna analyze this week team performances and see the level ups, the bloodshed that happened during the week, and so much and so forth. So let me just fix up a couple of things first before I make the usual mistakes I usually do when we do these kind of things, and we can then move to the game screen, which is black. Alright, as usual. Alright, so welcome everyone, and let's see how you did this week. Alright, so the first match of the week is a Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL against Heroes of Time Forgotten. So we have a 2-1 victory for Heroes of Time Forgotten. We can see 2 touchdowns and 23 armor breaks for an Olaf against 1 touchdown, 1 death, 2 passes and 7 armor breaks from Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL. We have the MVP on Smile 013, the human lineman, which is movement 5 and usual lineman OP skills, meaning he has a lot of SPPs. Then we got a level up, an MVP on Sergei Grishin, a zombie, which is also level up. Right, let's dive into the statistics of this match. We can see an Olaf keeping the absolute control of the ball, which quite indicates that Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL score was probably a ball steal, or anyway something very fast that happened in a very small amount of time. We can see 2 passes and 2 catches from the Yumis, and then we can see that Anorov also got control of the blocking side of the match, so really didn't give any quarters to Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL to react. So let's see who got deaths. So yeah, Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL suffered a death through a kill. Alright, let's check the SPPs that happened in this match. Hi Wanchi, welcome to the stream. Alright, so we got 5 SPPs on Smile 014, 3 SPPs on Bohort Seppel, 2 SPPs on Harn del Chasm, 2 SPPs on Albrecht Smutzer, 2 SPPs on Mainolf Meya, 2 SPPs on Rain Fyodoric. Then moving on to Heroes of Time Forgotten, we got 5 SPPs on Sergei Grishin, 2 SPPs on Coffin Splitter, 2 SPPs on Nuzzlemoon the Great, 3 SPPs on Mudcrawler, 4 SPPs on Oswald the Villain, and 3 SPPs on Elmut the Unmatched. Hi Goat, welcome to the stream. We are talking about your match. I hope you didn't miss the beginning. Alright, so moving to the dice rolls for Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL, we can see 41 ones against 46 sixes and a hell of a lot dices in the middle. So let's check the statistics of the d6s. So we got 20 going for it with just 3 failures, so good going for it for him. We got 33 armor rolls successful against the 23 failures, which means we had a lot of stuns and all the bashing we've seen before from an Olaf side. And then we got 6 failure on injuries. Moving up, we can see half of the KOs got back during the match, and we can see that catches were almost perfect except for one. Then we've got a lot of failure on casualties, which is probably why the Yumis couldn't really keep the ball or keep up the bashing game. And we can see a lot of failed dodges. Probably some of these have been made in difficult tackle zones trying to get the ball. We can see the Ogre always acted, although he didn't really move too much, so he probably just stood guard where he was supposed to be. Then we can see 4 successes on the pickups and some failed passes. Okay, let's recover chat. So, Goat saying that Morales actually had fairly great armor and injury considering how busted up his team is. Yeah, his team is pretty much busted up. Zord's dice versus me, utterly bad, Wanchi. Alright, I'm going to check that match soon. I'm quite sure a lot of people didn't expect the result and the match in general about you and Zord. It was a really awaited match, considering that you and some of the others are top-notch on the leaderboard and they have a fairly good chance to get their ticket for the playoffs. Of course, it's just week 4, but you know, you start getting the idea of how the leaderboard is setting up. Alright, so let's move to an aura of d6s. So we got 13 ones and 15 sixes. So as Goat is saying, he was keep hitting with Mighty Blow, but got almost nothing in the first half, alright? Yeah, Wanchi, I'm quite sure you have racked up just victories for now, and that's really great for your team. I really hope to see... I hope everyone gets a ticket playoff, because I have to be neutral, but I'm quite sure your team has the capabilities to even win the playoffs, giving just the right amount of luck, of course. So, for an aura of d6s, we got 4 successes on the pickups, so not having to waste rerolls on that. We got 14 successes on the armor rolls against the 7 failures, so I would say that the Yumis didn't hit too much, but their hits at least were enough to get some stuns on an aura side. And we got 1 successful pass, a very few amount of GFIs this time, if we consider the GFIs of last week. And we can see the chainsaw worked once and then it failed. Then we got 4 successes on the injuries and 4 failures on the injuries. This is quite bad for an Orof's team. We can see the bribe worked, I guess for the chainsaw, probably. Then we got 2 successes on the catches and 1 failure. Then we got 2 failures on casualties. We can see 1 region worked and 1 did not, and the only KO got back. So I would say pretty standard dices on Orof's side, some bad luck on the casualties side and the injury side, but except for that, quite acceptable dices, which helped him winning the match. Moving on to the blocking dices. So we got for Morales' team 10 skulls against 8 pows and the usual stuff in the middle. So an Oraf doesn't really have too much dodge, and the Yumis quite had some blocks, so I would say that except for the 1 dices, which didn't go well, at least looking at the results, and some 1 in 9s done from, I guess, linemen without block, or trying to push the ball a bit more aggressively. So we can see a lot of rerolls on Sigmar Blood Knight's side, and a lot of 1 dices, which didn't go great for him. Alright, moving on to Heroes of Time Forgotten blocking dices. We got 21 skulls against 33 pows, so great blocking statistics for an Olaf, and the usual stuff in the middle, with 63 pushes rolled all around. So let's check. a bit. Yeah, free pushes, skull pushes. You can see that there were pushes pretty much everywhere, but also some free dices on the Yumis. And I can see also some 1 in 9s, but didn't really need reroll, I guess, for his team. So yeah, 6 pages of blocking dices. Oh yeah, sure. With free dices, you definitely get more blocking dices in general. So yeah, it's about positioning as well, and the injuries on the Yumi's team quite make the difference on that, I guess. Alright, so these were the blocking dices of both teams, and so we're done with the analysis of this match. So as we said, it's a 2-1 victory for Heroes of Time Forgotten, which is an Olraf team. So, as usual, and as you already know better than me, it's time for our prediction board. Alright, so let me just fetch the statistics and the predictions real quick. So, the winners of these match predictions are Eringzord, Anoraf, and Korbor. Let's update this soon. Soon enough is now. So, as we said, yeah, every time. This is quite painful because every time I open the predictions it closes OBS and then I have to reopen OBS. I have to keep that in mind. So it's Eringzor, which is at 11 point, Noraf, and if I remember correctly, it's Korbor. Well done. Yeah, I agree, Goat. Korbor and Zord really have their eyes peeled for the matches that are going through this season. Zord is also, if I'm correct, an experienced recapper, so he probably just developed the eye watching other people playing. Alright, so let's move on to the next match. No, we do not move to the next match as I usually make the mistake. We are going to analyze the team developments. I didn't forget it this time. Alright, sorry. I cannot find my usual... Where did it go? Oh, okay, there we are. Should open up soon. Alright, there it is. So, for the team development of Morales' team, Sigmar Blood Knights RBBL, we got an Eagle on Hieronymus Foreign, an Eagle on Menustrong 007, then we can see last week level up of Bohort Seppel, which got Sprint in the end, which was used in this match, and then we can see the death on Barcelo 012, which was the block tackle lineman. And that's pretty much it for this team. Hopefully some SVPs will go on some level ups in the future. I can see some players near their newly level ups. Alright, so moving on to Heroes of Time Forgotten team development. Alright, so we got plus 1k fans on an Orov team, and we can see a great level up on Oswald the Villain, which is pining on. Then we got a level up on Sergei Grishin, the MVP of this match, which got Black, and we can see Barcelo being happily recruited after the death in his own match, which probably was his first match as well, I don't remember. Then we can see an injury on agilities for Titus 8, which is a zombie. Not really impactful since he's a zombie, but considering he's a dirty player, you sometimes want that 50% chance to dodge. You know, when you want to foul that big piece which is surrounded, but your dirty player is tackled. So we're going to see if he's going to stick in with the team or if he's going to get retired very soon. Alright, so this was the team development. I should have done it before the predictions, but at least I didn't forget. Alright, so this is it for this match. Let's move on to the next one. We got Hightune Hustlers against the Red Bull Chorfing. It's a 2-0 victory for the Red Bull Chorfing with 2 touchdowns and 12 armor breaks against Hightune Hustlers, 1 pass and 2 armor breaks. Let's check the chat for a second. Stick around since I have another dirty player. I doubt I need to do much dodging for fouls. Yeah, sure. Having 2 dirty players give you more chance at very slight cost in team value. Alright, so let's see the MVPs. So Hightune Hustlers got their MVP on John Wayne Beresford, the thrower, at 26 SPPs now. So one more MVP and he's going to level up, and he looks like quite a great thrower already. We're going to see if he develops more defensive skills or if he's just going to keep going forward in the passing plays. Then we've got the MVP on One Cheese team, which is Vartan Slicetong, a Kausdorf blocker, which also is close to level up if he gets another MVP. Moving to the statistics of this. Whoa. Oh, okay. Now I can see what Wanchi was talking about. Alright, so we got an 81% ball possession for the dwarfs and a 0% ball possession. yeah, goat. That's my reaction. 0% ball possession on the Hightune Hustlers. So the elf couldn't get the ball at all. This is not really surprising considering that while both of the coaches are very experienced coaches and they're both great Blood Bowl coaches, you have to consider the fact that dwarfs, if you also add just enough luck, are quite the nightmare for elf teams. And so, yeah, Wanchi, could you please describe us, if you're still in the chat, how the Herring Zord got a pass and a catch without getting the ball? I mean, unless there are bombs involved in the match. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. If someone has an insight on that, I'd be glad to talk about it. Alright, so yeah, he probably lost the ball, as God is saying, probably lost the ball in the same turn he got it. Does he have we're going to analyze later if he has pickups. Okay, so let's see, on the blocking side, we can see Wanchi's team dealing more damage than the elves and also doing double the blocks. And more than double the running in general. Wow. Yeah, I'm still kinda shocked by the statistics. Alright. Moving on to the SPPs, we got 6 SPPs for John Wayne Beresford, which was, of course, the pass and the MVP. And then we got 2 SPPs on Steve Audi, which probably was one very lucky hit. So Wanchi is saying that he's nicked 2 pickups in a row, turn 9 and turn 10. So he started in defense in the first half, he went offensive in the second half and couldn't pick up the ball to give it to his players. And probably the dwarfs managed to run just enough to get the ball and score the other touchdown. Yeah, that makes sense. Oof, that's quite hard on Erring's side. Alright, so let's check for the Red Bull Churfing SPPs. We got 5 SPPs on Vartan Slicestone, 2 SPPs on Danark Sharpfinger, 2 SPPs on Garak Quicktooth, 2 SPPs on Bartan Burnt Soul, 3 SPPs on Utkal REBBL, and 3 SPPs on Smux Ghostbane. Moving on to the dice rolls. Oh, hello, Fuiger. We've got the D6s of the Hightune Hustlers with 42 1s and 32 6s, quite understandable, and the usual stuff in the middle. Then let's move on to the armor rolls. So armor rolls, considering itself against dwarfs, we can say that armor rolls here are pretty fair. We can see some failed dodges on the elves, which is not great, but considering there's a lot of tackle on the pitch, it's also quite reasonable. We can see very few going for it, and then as Wanchi was saying, there's a lot of failed pickups on the elf side, so we have to admit the luck was not on Erring's side for this match. We can see the one pass which was successful, and then we can see 9 injuries and Chaos really not getting back up, also 4 casualties suffered. And the catch of the pass was successful. Moving on to Red Bull Chorfing dices. Very few dices has been thrown on the dwarf side. Usually when I see very low dices, it means having more control on the match, which also means being more efficient in the dices you have to throw. So we can see he didn't really have to deal with armor breakings, the bribe went in, we see the injury which got 2 SPPs on the guy from the elf side, and which was a casualty. Then we can see a lot of fail going for it. I would say that these are also sure fit rerolls, probably. Oh, 2 snakes on ball. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of running means also a lot of failing sometimes, but I guess you managed to recover it pretty quickly. We can see the absolute perfect score on pickups, and the only dodge that happened was a good one. All right, so yeah, we can see we're gonna see the blocking dices and check about them too. Now I'm really curious. Oof, we can see 10 skulls against 4 pows, but at least there were 8 defender stumbles. Fairly compensate the 1 in 9s here. So we can see 1 in 9s and 1 in 36, another 1 in 36. So yeah, it was quite a tough match for the elves. There's no other way to describe it. Moving on to the Red Bull surfing dices, we can also see here some scars, but we can also see a lot of buff downs, which are not that much of a problem for dwarfs generally. So we got 16 scars against 13 powers, and checking real quick to see a 1 in 6 reroll, which went great, and an aggressive reroll on the pushes. Nothing much else to look for there. So yeah, these were the statistics for this match. These were pretty impressive, I must admit. So we got, as we said, a 2-0 victory for Red Bull Surfing, which is one cheese team. Let's move on to the team development of the 2 teams. And of course I closed everything because I have this bad habit of closing everything every time. So just a second, alright. So let's check for the High Tune Hustlers team development. We've got Erinsor team. We can see an MNG on Joe Salasso and an MNG on Colt Darlow. And we can see Robert Lee, the block lineman, being retired for his niggling injury. Then we can see a nice level up on Steve Audi, which was a guard. So he rolled doubles, and it's always useful to roll doubles on elves because you need kind of this. So I would have gone for Mighty Blow if I didn't already have a catcher with Mighty Blow. So yes, I really like this guard as a level up. In general, there hasn't been too much damage for Aringzor. He can recover pretty quickly, have some trouble maybe next match, but if in the next match he doesn't get punched too hard, he should still be able to carry on through a great future for the team. Then moving on to Red Bull Surfing team development, we can see an increase in fan factor of 1k fans and just Danark Sharpfinger being an MNG. Nothing more much else to say about the team. Alright, so this was the match and the team development. Let's move to our predictions. So, bloop. And let's see who are the winner of this week's prediction. So, oh, there's a lot of people, okay. So, we got as winners of the predictions of the match, Eringzord, Fiat Luksha, Honor of the Goat, Draconios, me, and Wanchi. So, this is gonna take quite a lot of time, I'm sorry. I need to find a better system for this. I still haven't managed it. So, we got Eringzord, then we've got Fiat Luksha. Then we've got, I would love to have 2 screens. Then we got Anoraf, which for some reason is not showing up. Oh, there it is. Then we move on to Draconios. Yeah, I have a very short-term memory, I'm sorry. Ooh, there it is, another point. Then there's me, and there's Wanchi. Final double digits. And Wanchi with his prediction, which went great. Alright, so this is the actual prediction board, leaderboard. We can see Eringzord absolutely nailing it. and Korbor just following up right behind him. Alright, so moving, winning juice one? Sorry, Wanche, I wasn't watching the chat when you wrote that message. Alright, so let's move on to the next match. Alright, it's not okay. We got Actions All-Stars against God-Two-Head Eagles. It's a 2-1 victory for the Norse Action All-Stars team, Draconia's team. It's 2 touchdowns, 1 death, and 18 armor breaks against 1 touchdown, 1 death, 1 pass, and 9 armor breaks. We've got an MVP on Jack Slayer Jr., which is also a level up. I don't remember if he kept this player at the end of the match. He probably got retired because of his armor value bust. And then we got an MVP on Bert van Marwijk, which is a Wrestle Skaven lineman. Close to another level up. Right, let's move to the statistics of the match. As you would expect from Skaven, they kept the ball most of the time, although this time didn't work out good enough to win the match. We can see the pass, which was successful. We can see almost the same number of blocking dices, which is fairly impressive considering that Norse is a full block team. And we can see the Norse still managing to deal and remove way more rats and the sword against the God-Two-Head Eagles injury blocks, which were not that great. So we can imagine that that 2-0 victory was mainly achieved through removing God-Two-Head Eagles players. Yeah. Moving on to the SPPs. We've got 5 SPPs for Jack Slayer Jr., the MVP, then we got 4 SPPs on Raymond Tangle, 3 SPPs on John Ramborn III, then we got 8 SPPs on Gabriel Crush, 3 SPPs on Robert McCall, 2 SPPs on Marty Rips III, and 2 SPPs on Alexander Ridge Jr. This was for Action All-Stars Draconia's team. Then we've got the God-Two-Head Eagles with the 5 SPPs on the MVP, which is Bert van Marwijk. I don't know how to say that last 2 letters. Then we got the 6 SPPs on Raymond van der Go, and then we got 6 SPPs on Victor Sikora. Moving to the dice rolls. So for Action All Stars, we got 18 ones against 15 sixes, and let's check the in-depth D6s statistics. So we got 15 successes on armors against the 10 failures. Both teams have very low armor values, so I would expect a lot of this. And we can see a equal number of injuries, so not that great for the Norse, which still managed to get through it. And for casualties, we can see the Yeti didn't really want to play this match, was fairly lazy with his 2 failures. And then we can see the jump up working almost always. We can see the 3 pickups went great, we can see the pass which went through. However, the catches didn't manage to get that ball, so both a pass and a end of failure. We can see the GFIs went statistically great for him, and just one dodge and just the KO that got back up. Moving on to the God-Two-Head Eagles D6s, we got 38 ones against 32 sixes. We can see some 5s. We can see way more 5s than 2s, but I would say that some of these have been on his own injury rolls. Let's check. So we got some failed dodges, and that's quite bad for us. Would you say hybrid stunty team? And then we can see more failures in armor rolls than successes. As we were talking before, God-Two-Head Eagles had to deal with a lot of damage. 16 injuries is quite a huge number here. There's not much to say except for the fact that he had to deal with a lot of blood. Yeah. Then we can see the chaos at least fairly getting back up, and the GFI is being statistically standard. We can see a huge number of casualties, however not too many casualties considering the 16 failures on the injury rolls. We can see the trolls acted almost always, so that was good for at least defending what was left of the team, and then we can see the catch pickup as being good. Alright, so moving on to the blocking dices, we got 21 skulls against 15 pows for Action All-Stars, with 13 defender stumbles. I'm not sure, not all Norse have takers, so some rats, proper ogre goblins managed to dodge that. Then we got 18 buff downs, which are usually great for Norse. So we got 2 1 in 36s, which has been reroll, and a 1 in 6. A 1 in 9 rerolled probably more aggressively than usual, and nothing too much to say, so I would say that this reroll is this POW, so that reroll was worth it. Alright, so moving on to the Got 2 Head Eagles dices. Ooh, that's strange. So we got 7 skulls against 17 POWs, and oh, that's because there were a lot of buff downs though. So we had 20 buff downs, which against Norse was probably painful to deal with. Let's check. So I don't see any rerolls here. Oh yeah, there's a 1 in 9 here, and this one was taken. I don't know if they have block Marty Rips. I'm quite sure is a blitzer, so not a problem. And we can see some 1 in 6s probably necessary trying to survive, which didn't go well. And I guess this was a one aggressive reroll or a 2 dice uphill hit. Alright, so these were the statistics for this match. Let's go and check the team development of these two teams. As soon as I can open the usual files. Action All Stars, there we are. So we can see an increment of 1k offense for Draconius, and let's check what happened in the team. So we can see a 0 treasury because it has all been spent. We can see a niggle injury on the Yeti. This is quite hurtful for the Yeti. You know, considering its team value and the fact that it's already developed quite fairly, getting an injury on a Navy 8 big guy, it's not great. I guess you will keep him, but it's going to be tough now that he is niggled, especially against the Claw Mighty Blow teams. Then we can see the death of John Rambone III, which was the thrower that leveled up before with the SPPs he got. And then we can see Jack Slayer Jr., which, if I'm correct, was the MVP, which also leveled up but was retired because of his armor value bust. They've been replaced by Jack Slayer III and John Rambone IV, so let's hope they have more luck than the two that came before. And this was Draconius team. So let's move on to Got 2 Head Eagles. So we got Corbor team here with Jarno van den Bos being retired. He was a Skaven Blitzer which got niggled. Then we can see Vut Drosta getting an MNG, and then we can see the death of Jiroen Veldmate, which was just a standard Underwood Goblin. So that's pretty much it for this team. Alright, so this was Action All Stars against Got 2 Head Eagles. It's a 2-1 victory for Action All Stars. Let's go and check the prediction board. Okay, OBS is not cool. Okay, there it is. There we go. So the winner of this match predictions are Herringzord, Fiat Luxia, Noraf, Draconius, and Beer Monkey. Congratulations, let me update your board. Alright. Now let's not confuse with the other matches. So we got Herringzord and we got Fiat Luxia with 7 points. Then we move on to a no rough with 10 points. We got Draconios and Beer Monkey. Okay, let's update Beer Monkey since I have it here. And Draconios with his 5th point. I should have done it alright. I really hope I'm not messing this up somehow. Alright, so that's it for these teams, sorry. Herrings are this leading that is crushing that board. Alright, so let's move on to the next match. We've got Dark Mode for the win against Big Wolf Rescue. I need to go back a second to make sure of one thing. Alright, yeah. Okay, so let's see here. We have a 1-0 victory for Dark Mode for the win, so Major Bite's the winner. We can see 1 touchdown, 1 pass and 16 armor breaks for Major Bite against the 13 armor breaks from the Big Wolf Rescue. The MVP unfortunately went to an injured loner lineman for Major Bite, while we can see a good MVP on Joe the Exotic, which is a Flash Golem, so you always want that the SPPs on the Flash Golems. I know something about it. Alright, let's move on to the statistics. So we can see the elves managing to keep the ball fairly more than the wolves, so we can see Major Bite playing fairly defensively, getting a 31% of occupation of own elf for the ball, while the Necros went a bit more aggressive and kept more the ball in the Major Bite side of the pitch. We can see the elf manage to do their pass catch standard, and we can see the necromantics doing more blocks than the elves. However, the elven blocks were definitely more efficient, with 5 KOs inflicted and 3 injuries inflicted. And we can see the elves running almost double the time than the necromantics. Moving to the SPPs, we've got 5 SPPs for Gideon, 4 SPPs for Ryder, and 6 SPPs for Firefox developer tools on Dark Mode for the win side. Then moving to Rideable Llama side, we got 5 SPPs on Joe the Exotic, 2 SPPs on Cowie the Orator, and 4 SPPs on Howard the Furry. This guy's getting a lot of SPPs in line recently. Alright, moving on to the dice rolls of these two teams. For Dark Mode for the win, we can see 16 ones and 19 sixes. Okay, that was quite an interesting thing to say in one sentence. And we can see a lot of 2s, which usually are not that great of a problem for elves, as long as you don't roll a 1. Let's move on and check what happened. So we got 16 successes on armors, but 15 failures. We can see the dodges being pretty much standard, and we can see fair 4 failures on the injuries, with just 1 casualty. We can see a fireball here with a lot of people. The leap went great, the catch were not so great, but there were just enough to get the win. The KOs were just 3 KOs with 2 not coming up. We got 2 going for it's not failed. We can see that this week for the elves in general were not great for pickups. Like, this is the no pickup week for elves. Then we can see 1 pass which went great, and we can see the bribe worked. Moving on to Big Wolf Rescue, the 6s. So we got 17 ones against 22 6s. Let's check. We have some failed GFIs, probably done with wolves, I would say, trying to get the ball. Then we can see 17 failures on armors. As I was saying, elves blocks for this match were more efficient than the necro ones. We can see 9 injury failures on Big Wolf Rescue side. So yeah, they had to deal with a lot of stuns and people getting off of the pitch. We can see the 2 pickups went great, however a pass was unsuccessful. The casualties were good, the regions were good, and the only dodge that he tried to do was a failure. Alright, moving on to the blocking dices. we got 11 skulls against 11 pals for dark mode for the win. We can see some 1 in 9s and some 1 in 6s, a 1 in 36, nothing too extreme, and both down here, so nothing too disturbing on dark mode for the win side about the blocking game. So moving up to the Big Wolf Rescue, we can see 17 skulls against 11 pals, with 28 pushes, which are not that great for necro teams because, you know, between frenzy traps and the fact that you want to strip the ball away, makes it hard to get a solid chance at the ball. So we can see some 1 in 9s, yeah, we can definitely see some 1 in 9s and this aggressive reroll. Then we can see a 1 in 36 which was rerolled, probably a 1 in 9, and nothing much else to say. So this was Dark Mode for the win against Big Wolf Rescue. It's a 1-0 victory for Major Byte, as we said before. Now let's move and see the team development of these two teams. So why don't... okay. There it is. So we got an increase of 1k fans for Major Byte team, and we can see Firefox developer tools leveled up and got a nice dodge. Not much else to say about the team. It's really well shipped up and ready for the next match. Moving on to Big Wolf Rescue, we have no level up nor changes on fan factors, so it was not a really expensive loss. However, now that the leaderboard is starting to shaping up, getting a loss after some good and mixed matches is going to give him some pressure on recovering in the future matches. However, his team is fine, so he has still a good chance at it. Alright, so let's move on to our prediction board. Oop. So let's see who are these match winners. If I can find it. There it is. So the winner of these matches are Zord, Anoraf, and Draconius. So we got Zord. Then we move on to Anoraf and Draconius. Draconius, you are absolutely recovering this, even if you started later on and you are playing for the, let's see how many points you get. Like, you have a good chance at recovering the leaderboard by keeping this up. Good job. Alright, so did I forget someone? I really want to not forget about anyone. So alright, let's yeah, that's it. Okay, so moving on to the next match. Who do we got for the next match? Oh, okay, so we have Manor Muppets against Redman Forever. As you can see from the screen, we have an admin win, which was a concession. I've been told that there was an emergency on the Dusk Bunny's side, so I don't really want to delve too deep in the team statistics, and I hope everything is alright since I didn't get any news. You know, it's a difficult period for everyone. Emergencies are quite scary, at least for me in this time. I hope everyone is safe out there. Please stay safe and Blood Bowl responsibly. No, not just that, but seriously, be careful looking outside, okay? So we have a 3-1 victory admin for Manor Muppets Chubstep team. With it was a 1 touchdown, 1 death, 1 pass, and 6 armor breaks against the 1 touchdown, 1 death, and 3 armor breaks from Radman Forevers. So I'm going to... the MVPs went to Gonzo, the Ogre, and Crazy Harry, the catcher. Crazy Harry is close for a future MVP. Then let's move, for a level up with the future MVP. Blah, I got mixed up a bit there. Let's check who got some SPPs in this match. We can see 5 SPPs on Crazy Harry, 5 SPPs on Gonzo. Then we got 4 SPPs on Animal and 1 SPP on Fuzzy Bear. Then on Redman Forever side, we got 2 SPPs on Tritz and 3 SPPs on Sulk. So we're going to go fast on team developments, which I've closed again. I hate myself sometimes. Alright, so as it was my mistake, last week I didn't cover Chubstep team development, so we're going to, let's say, recover the time that we couldn't invest on analyzing this match to check last week team development of Chubstep, and then we're going to this week team development. So if everything works correctly, because I've got some shortcuts, it should be showing the match that does it. Yeah, okay. So last week Chubstep's team development was a 1k increase in fan factor with a good level up on Animal, the Blitzer, which got AG+, which has been used in this match until the match was suspended, and then we got a level up on Crazy Harry, which was a Wrestle. We can see he also suffered a movement bust on Ritz the Red, a Wrestle lineman. Okay, and this was last week team development. Now moving to this week team development, we've got not really much to say except the fact that Sam Eagle was killed in action. So that's pretty much it for this week team development of Manor Muppets. Alright, so let's move up to the Dusk Bunnies side of team development. So because of the concession, he's lost 1k fan factor, and during the match he's also lost Feeble Nibbler, which was a block sidestep shadowing gutter runner. Not a good loss. I mean, it's a gutter runner, it's always expensive, but at the same time it's not one of his main pieces. As long as I'd say Tzark and Liquid stay up, the team is pretty much fine even without any issues. Also, we can see traits level up, and we're going to analyze this level up next week. Alright, so this was the match, Manor Muppets against Red Forever, and as stated in the prediction rules at the beginning of the Discord channel, even admin matches are considered for the prediction board, so we still have winners. Let's check our prediction board on how it developed. So the winners for these matches are for this match are Fiat Luxia, Anoraf, Draconios, and Korbor. Alright, so I need just a second because it's quite, I don't know, some days Notepad decide to not work. Okay, so we got, as I said, Fiat Luxia, then we've got Noraf, then we have Draconios, and we've got Korbor. Alright, and that's it for this week's match. I cannot open Blood Bowl for some reason. Okay, there it is. So, moving up to Graf Billy's Vendettas against Very Necromantic Necros. Oh, it's my match. Yeah, I almost forgot. Okay, so it's a 2-1 victory for the Very Necromantic Necros, and we got 2 touchdowns and 16 armor breaks and 2 expulsions for the Necros against the 1 touchdown, 1 death, 1 pass, and 8 armor breaks for Graf Billy's Vendettas team. So it's Beer Monkey's team. We have an MVP on Jeremiah Clovenhoof, Beastman, rookie Beastman, which is 1 SPP away from leveling up, and we got MVP on Jeep Mammon, which is a guard zombie, and it's a level up. Moving on to the statistics, we can see the Very Necromantic Necros keeping the possession of the ball for most of the match, both defensively and aggressively. We can see the Chaos trying to keep the Necros at bay with their 44 blocks. However, let's say that during the match there was some bloodshed on both sides. In the end, I quite managed to remove the important players for the Chaos team, which was already damaged from the match he played the week before our match. So he lost his killer in the match before, and I had some early. I caused some early injuries during our match. So yeah, not really two good weeks for Billy's Vendetta team. We can see that I ran almost the double of his team, got the Wolves up and running, strangely. So, we got 5 SPPs on Jeremiah Clovenhoof, we got 1 SPP on Marok Reborn, 2 SPPs on Grigory Kilgore, 3 SPPs on Ugly Benny, and 4 SPPs on the Bondsman. Then on the VNN side, we've got 5 SPPs on Jipmamon, 5 SPPs on Wolfgard Yarbinger, 4 SPPs on Bjorn Legacy Alexander, and 3 SPPs on Blood Jr. the Avenger. Moving to the dice source, I'm sorry guys. Okay, I'm slightly healed. I've been slightly healed since last Saturday, and I'm quite recovering. So sorry if sometimes I just get stuck. Alright, so we got the d6s from Billy's Vendettas, we got 15 ones against 29 sixes. So you would say that some of his dices were good, however he also had to deal with some very bad casualties. Okay, so we got 4 dodges going well and 2 failures, and we got 4 pickups which went great, the pass which went great. However, he had some troubles with catching and ending off the ball. We can see 17 failures on armor rolls. I have to say Claw this time worked very well. We can see 5 failures on injuries, and this is the one that we have to watch on, because it's 5 failures on casualties against the 1 success. So yeah, that Claw Mighty Blow did the job. We can see 3 going for it going well, and also he had to deal with the Lightning Bolt. We can see the KOs coming elf back and elf not, and as we said, the catches were not that great. Moving up to the very necromantic Necros, the dices, we got 22 ones against 28 sixes, and a lot of standard stuff in the middle. So we can see my armor managed to hold up fairly well with just 8 failures, and the GFIs were fairly great. I had some trouble picking up the ball was on the ground a lot of the time, due to our teams mainly just hitting each other, and you can see my injuries roll were not great as well. However, I didn't suffer casualties, so you can see where the difference is in the blocking of this match. We got 10 successful dodges, which are fairly great considering the team being AG-free. You can see the regeneration working most of the time, and also the KOs coming back up, and some successful catches. Moving up to Billy's Vendetta's blocking dices, we got 19 skulls against 12 pows. We can see 20 defender stumbles, so this fairly compensate the difficulties on the skulls, considering that I don't really have too much dodge. So checking for the dices, we got a reroll on a 1 in 9, another reroll on a 1 in 9, an aggressive reroll from Ugly Benny, and pretty much fairly standard stuff with a 1 in 36 here, and a 1 in 6 here. Moving up to... sorry, wrong arrow. Moving up to very necromantic Necros blocking dices, I was way more luckier than him on the blocking side of the match, with 9 skulls and 12 pows, with 11 defender stumbles and 10 both downs, which were mainly done with I would just say with wicks and the blocking pieces in my team. So you can see I went for a lot of 1-in-6s. I felt like I needed to do that, mostly because I've used my lightning bolt in the first half, which still didn't manage to stop him from scoring. So I had to went aggressive in the second half and scoring both of the touchdowns in the second half, mostly thanks to the fact that I had managed to remove too many chaos pieces for Graf Billy's Vendetta's defense to hold up. And he was quite angry about it. And he was right to be angry about it. I was one dicing irresponsibly and managed to get that enough for luck. So yeah, you can see some scars are rolling around because of my of me not being responsible with my dices. But you know, sometimes going risky pays off. Alright, so this was a 2-1 victory for the very necromantic Necros, and let's go and check the team developments of the two teams. So we've got Graf Billy's Vendetta's level ups, team development. We can see the Bondsman having leveled up from the SPPs he got. We are going to check this level up next week. Then we can see a niggling injury on Marok Reborn, the AG plus Shoran's Beastman, so on the ball carrier. And then we can see the death of Temujin, Scarecross, normal Beastman, and Graf Brilly Trollsbane being retired because of his niggling injury. Let's hope this level up is a double. Before I leave this team, I would say that the defensive abilities of this team losing pieces with block is quite falling apart. So if you want to keep up with the rest of the season, keeping a block team, which is still not, in my opinion, is still not a bad idea. It definitely needs some level ups on the goats. So I would say a pass from Ugly Benny and a pass from Jeremiah Clovenhoof would be just enough to get the team back on track. Moving on to the very necromantic Necros, I got 1k fans adding to my team after the 4k loss of last week. And then we got the level up on GMAN, which is a block, so guard block zombie, very good. And then I've enrolled Temujin Scarecrossed from the Dead Beastman. Nothing much else to say. I really do need to fill up these slots somehow. Alright, so this was Graf Billy's Vendetta against the very necromantic Necros, and let's move up to the prediction board. So the winner of this match prediction is Beer Monkey, so congratulations for your point. Alright, moving on. I almost closed OBS. Well, Steam was going to die. No, it's fine, it's fine. Alright, so we got, for the last match of the week, we got Roughing the Ref against the REBBL Vapor Wells. Did I close the prediction board? Sorry, I need to check. Oh yeah, okay, I did. So we got Roughing the Ref against REBBL Vapor Wells, which is, if I'm correct, Fuiger versus Fiat Luxia. And then we got a 2-1 victory for Roughing the Ref. So on Roughing the Ref side, we got 2 touchdowns, 1 pass, and 18 armor breaks against the 1 touchdown, 1 death, 3 passes, and 3 armor breaks on Fiat Luxia side. The MVPs went to Red Rob, a Goblin, which is very close to another level up, and then here we have an MVP on Elias Rimmel, which is a lineman with a lot of history. Let's call it history and experience on his side. Alright, moving to the statistics, we can see Roughing the Ref having a huge control on the ball. However, we can see the elves doing more passes. I would say that probably these passes were not really influential in the game. We can see Roughing the Ref doing way more blocks than the elves and causing quite a lot of bloodshed on the pitch with 8 KOs and 4 injuries. Moving to the SPPs, we've got for Roughing the Ref, 5 SPPs on Red Rob, 2 SPPs on Tweedledum, 2 SPPs on Tweedledee, 2 SPPs on Ripper. Oh, I guess it's that Ripper. Then we got 7 SPPs on Ronnie Nose and 2 SPPs on Morgan Forgas, so we can see star players doing their job. Well, with what you pay them, you'll expect it. So, on Fiat side, we've got 5 SPPs on Haleayas Rimmel, we got 2 SPPs on Upadgalad Shaladev, it's quite difficult, and we got 2 SPPs on Lakwatbus Champion, and we got 3 SPPs on Nostalgia Corp, and then we got 1 SPP on Marion Lasrael. I really hate Helven names. Alright, so we've got on the sixes for Roughing the Ref, 21s and 18 sixes, with average stuff in the middle. We can see dodges being fair, considering that yes, they are stunties, but they are AG-free. We can see standard armor success failure rate, considering they are not great at armor value. We can see 2 failures on the injuries, and we can see no KO getting up. The catch was good. They're really stupid. Now, I have no idea of how many big guys that were in that match, so seeing 8 failures really doesn't surprise me, and seeing 19 successes mean they still managed to move around the pitch and doing what they are supposed to do. We can see 5 successes on pros and 4 failures. Then we have, I guess, a Gobbo throw, which at least started. I don't know how the landing was. And then we have an inaccurate pass. We can see just 1 failed GFIs. GFI, we can see all 3 bribes went in, but he failed an interception. Oh, we have more. Oh yeah, okay, so the Gobbo throw was good, but the landing was not. Then we got 3 pickups and 1 pass, the chainsaw working 6 times, and quite lucky casualty rate. So yeah, the goblins splatting themselves on the ground after being thrown are always fun for me, but it's just personal. Alright, so we got Fiat Luxia D6s. We got 26 ones against 31 sixes. We can see 40 5s. However, I would say that some of these 6s and 5s were on armors and injuries and casualties. We can see 19 failures and on armor and 14 failures on injuries. We can see KOs getting up 50-50, and we can see a lot, I would say still quite a lot of failures on dodging, considering itself. However, if we also consider the fact that he didn't really have too many players on the pitch, he surely had to deal with some difficult dodges and tackle zones. We can see a standard number of GFIs, and then we have the terrible casualty success failure rate with a 45% on successes. We can see the chainsaw worked, and we can see diving tackle causing some trouble. We can see 5 successes on the catches, and 3 good pickups and 3 good passes. Moving to the blocking dices. So we got on Roughing the Ref side 12 skulls against 12 pals. Let's see, we have 14 defender stumbles, but I would say with else some of these were dodges, so we can see some free dices here and not a single reroll in the whole match for Roughing the Ref about blocking. Then we move on to the REBBL Vaporwelves blocking dices. We got just 3 skulls and 2 pals, so we can see REBBL Vaporwelves throwing just 10 blocks and having some issues with those blocks due to seeing those rerolls, just 1 page of blocks. So yeah, on the blocking side, REBBL Vaporwelves probably didn't even have much choice and tried to stick with the ball. So these were the statistics of this match. We can see Roughing the Ref winning for a 2-0 victory, and congratulations Figure, I'm sorry Fiat. Let's move on to the team development of these 2 teams. I really hope this week I didn't miss anyone. Let's see. Yeah, I agree, Goat. As I said before, that Elf is experienced. It's not trashed. It's not injured. It's experienced. He has wisdom to share with his teammates. Let's see. I really cannot find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we got, yeah, experienced. It's the term you're looking for. It's like Morales' team. Morales' team is probably treasure chest of experience, for example. As we are saying, Ruffin the Ref got an increment of 1k fans on his side. We can see Runny Nose getting sure feet, so he's becoming a very great goblin, a very great goblin to throw and hopefully score one turn touchdowns with. Then we got Aaron the Handsome being hired as a new goblin, and we can see William Defoe, which was a sidestep diving tackle goblin, being retired for his niggling injury. Yeah, exactly. Fuiger is ready for the farm. After you play some, you have to wonder about how much a player gains for each Blood Bowl match. And, investing those money in land, farms, and so on, the life of a retired Blood Bowl, of an experienced Blood Bowl player could be good if you survive. Okay, moving to Fiat Luxia level ups. So we got no difference in fat factor, and we can see Vantage right on time suffering an armor bust injury. So it's an armor bust on AG5 players. He's a blitzer, so this one is kinda nasty because blitzer has to get in the action, and getting those hit on an AG5 piece, it's quite a lot of team value you have to deal with. Then we can see movement past on Elias Rimmel, the MVP, as we said, a very experienced player. And then we can see still in this match movement bust on Strawberry Station, which was the kick guy. And we have a death called Cerulan Series. I'm just going to trust that that's how you spell it, which was a dodge catcher. So that's it for these week teams. Let's go and check our prediction board. So for our prediction board, who is the winner? So the winner of this prediction board, of these match predictions are Fiat Luxia, Anoraf, Draconius, me, and Beer Monkey. Congratulations! Let's go and update the board. So it's 1 point for Fiat, 1 point for Goat. Then we've got 1 point for Draconius. Draconius really rocked it this week. As we said, we got 1 point for Draconius, then there's 1 point for me and 1 point. Okay, so 1 point for me and 1 point for Beer Monkey. Alright, so you voted for Ty, we all voted for Ty, only Fiat voted correct. What? Did I? Goat, okay, did I, are you sure? But let me go and check yeah, I usually make that mistake too. I have to be extra careful when I end right every prediction every week, so I make that same mistake. Also, sometimes people, I've noticed, yeah, you voted Fiat because as you can see, it's the letter that matters. You all voted A, so A is the home team, while B it's the away team. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. I need to go to work for. Sorry for this. Yes, you all voted B, so you all voted Fiat. Wait, what? Let just give me a second to check. Oh, Okay, sorry. Thank you for making me notice this. I messed up. I was probably drunk that night. I'm gonna make sure everything is correct after this. So yeah, you're right. I accidentally put everyone on A instead of B. That is my fault, and thank you for making me notice. Last week I probably would have had way more trouble because there was no one, but I made sure last week I got everything correctly. So let me fix this very quick. I really that really escaped me, and that's surprising. Okay. So as we said, I'm sorry to. I really don't like removing point. I feel bad for removing point. So yeah, you're right. Nobody got point for this match. No rough Draconios. Me. And Beer Monkey. I'm sorry. This is very unprofessional. Okay. I'll try my best to not make mistakes next time. Okay, so well, at least it was at the end of the stream. Some people might have fallen asleep before the end of the stream, so they are not going to know about this, and it's just going to stay with me and go. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. That's not going to happen again. Let's check for just the prediction board. So we can see Eringzord leading at 14 points, followed by Goat and Corbor at 12 points, and me behind at 10 points. We can see Draconios, that even if he started later on, I think in week 3, he's already racked up 7 points, so he's like a prediction machine almost. And of course, Beer Monkey it's at 11 points, so very close to Anoraf and Korbor. And of course, we can also see the people who have started later on. Basman Grob, which has stopped voting, but it's fine. He helped me in the beginning. And of course, as I always say, it's great to just see how many matches you can predict. Yeah, Beer Monkey is 11. Yeah, I went on it later on. Alright, so this is our prediction board, and these were this week's matches. Oh, I forgot to close the prediction board. Whoop. Still, thank you for making me notice of the mistake. That was strange. I don't know why I put everything on A. As I said, there are nights in which I'm drunk and I still and write the stuff. So, sometimes it doesn't go that great. Especially because usually on Tuesday is the day I drink after I do some work. So that's probably what causes it. Alright, Figure, see you in the next recap. Good luck with your next match. In the meanwhile, let's move on to the leaderboard. As I said last week, I'm not going to make prediction for the next week, but I'm still going to check the leaderboard. So, let me check OBS to make sure everything is correct. Okay, it is. So, we've got on first place, we can see Chubstep Team Manor Muppets with 3 wins and 1 draw, leading with the Red Bull Chorfing Team Wanchi at 3 win and 1 draw. So these are the 2 teams we have to keep an eye on for the tickets. Then going down in the leaderboard, we got Major Bite Team with 2 wins and 2 draw and still no losses. So it's a no loss streak and is also very close to getting, would say, a ticket at least for one of the 2, if I'm correct, possibly tickets you can get. Then we move on to the rest of the leaderboard. So we got REBBL Llama with 2 wins, 2 draw, 1 loss, and Eringzor team with 2 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, and an Orof team with 2 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So these 3 teams are competing for the top of the leaderboard, grasping and clawing through their ways, and trying to get up on that leaderboard and reach the first 3 teams. Oh, also we have to consider, no, 2, 3, 4, no, it's still 4 matches, everyone. Then we got the Norse Action All Stars with their no loss streak, seeing 1 win and 3 draws. So, you know, just 1 win is going to push him up the leaderboard and get him back into this stage of the leaderboard, as long as he doesn't get a loss. Then we can see Graf Billy's Vendettas with 1 win, 2 draw, and 1 loss, and the Redman Forever with 1 win, 2 draw, and 1 loss, competing at mid-table. Going down the leaderboard, so to the bottom, seeing who's trying to return to glory. We got Roughing the Ref from Fuiger with their win, their draw, and 2 losses, which still has a very nice chance of at least competing with Graf Billy's Vendettas and Redman Forever for the mid-table. And going down, we have the 3 and 4 losses team. So there's Philoloxia with his 1 win, 3 losses, the Very Necromantic Necros with their 1 win and 3 losses. Then we got the Got 2 Head Eagles, which still have to get their first win. I'm sure it will come soon, with 1 draw and 3 losses. And then we got Morales team with 4 losses. And so the actual leaderboard situation is. I wouldn't say that this kind of situation could have been predicted, but it's starting to shape up. It's still early in the season. There's a lot of matches still to play, and a lot of teams have a lot of potential. Also, we have to see some of the matchups. At least for my team, because personal experience, I think I can do better now. Having had to deal with the most bashy teams around, still have to deal with some. But so the same is for the other teams. So we're going to see how this is going to develop in the next recap. So I would say that's all for me for this week. So this was Season 15 Division 4B REBBL GMAN recap. I really hope you enjoyed this stream, or VOD if you're watching it you know, from YouTube or from the Twitch VODs, and I'm really just glad to have the chance to recap these teams. And also I'm having a lot of fun in this season. So thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, as I said before, and I hope to see you next week with some more Blood Bowl action. See you around, guys!
Questo evento è valutato F come Fortnite.
I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find, don't let the sun go don't let the sun go I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find, don't let the sun go don't let the sun go don't let the sun
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Waiting for the clear. Is it bad sometimes? I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light dim, but I can also see the bones decay. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away. Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is silent, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. Is it bad sometimes? I can see the light. But I can also see the bones again. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away.